Do you love these beautiful fit and flare gowns that hug your body through the waist and hips and maybe even thighs? Um, I've got some things for you to think about when you're buying your dress. Hi, my name is Nicole and I'm a bridal alteration specialist. I've been in the bridal industry since 2000 when I was custom creating gowns from scratch for themed weddings and stuff like that until 2016 when I started doing bridal alterations full-time for a bridal shop, and then eventually in 2020 opened up my own bridal alterations business. One of the things that I find a lot is people who love these dresses here that are form-fitted. Maybe they have shoulder, maybe they don't. This one here has off the shoulder sleeves, and that's a whole other topic of discussion. But with a dress like this, there are a few things that I find. First of all, lately, the the dresses, for some reason, the way they've been constructed, they are all right at the waist here. For some reason, they are flipping up once you're wearing them. So it's almost like the angle is wrong, and they need to be re-angled so that they can be flatter on the stomach. Otherwise, they're almost like pushing in funny, so they travel up and they stick there. So that's one of the things. So you're likely going to need, I'm trying to draw it on my phone here, that's not going to work. You're likely going to need your waist taken apart here to make it fit you. That's one thing that I've found a lot in recent dresses this past year. Another thing is that everybody wants these super tight in the belly, waist, hip, thigh, all that, because they're the salespeople, when they're selling them their dresses, they clip them in the back so that they're really tight, and they see that fit that they see in the magazines and everything, where it's super tight along there. And that would be great, except a lot of the times when people have it as tight as what they have it in the magazines and everything, first of all, once you pull that, because most of these are not done out of a stretch fabric, when you pull that, it's going to make the fabric stretch, and it's going to cause creases across the front of your dress. So those creases that form across the front of the dress is actually a lot of the dresses or brides want us to take it in tighter so that it gets rid of the creases, and actually that's going to make the creases worse. The creases are there because it's pulling the fabric, and the only way the fabric can pull as much as it needs to is by creasing to allow it to have extra length extra width by stealing it from the length. So that's what causes those creases across there. The other thing that it does is, if you have it too tight, you have a hard time walking and or sitting because you actually need room for your bum when you go to sit down. So you have to kind of hike up the dress a little bit, give it some extra room here where where your hip joint is, so that it will actually have the extra fabric so that you can sit down. Now, some people are okay with that, some people are not, because now your shoes are showing because you've had to hike it up. And then when you stand up, you're going to have to pull it back down again because it's all going to be bunched up in the crotch area. So that's another problem. So a lot of these people, they want it too tight because they want that look. They want that flat, seamless look that they're seeing in the magazines. Well, I've got some news for you. Those magazines are airbrushed, okay? This is fabric, and when you're wearing fabric, it's going to get wrinkles in it as you're walking. It's going to crunch a little bit. It's going to move. I have so many brides. It's crazy to me how many brides I have that they're like, oh, this dress is beautiful. It's so nice and smooth right now, the way you've got it. When I'm standing here, it's just perfect. Here's the problem. See, when I take a step, I end up with a little crease across here. You see every step. And now I've got it on this side because I'm taking a step with that leg, and then I'm going, and it's like, of course. Of course, it's going to crease. It can't stay totally flat. It's not made of plastic, like a hard plastic or anything like that. It's fabric. So as you move, that fabric is going to move. When you are wearing pants or a skirt or anything, look down. If it's something like, obviously not a super full skirt where you can't see the movement of anything, but if it's something that's fairly close to your body, when you bend your leg, that fabric has to bend to accommodate the fact that you're moving it. Just like if you had a blanket on you and you bend, you're laying down, you sit up, that blanket is gonna fold, right? So the same thing happens when your leg is straight. Okay, your body's straight, it's fine, but then as soon as you move your leg to walk, your body is creasing and the fabric is going to crease. So that's just one of the things to look out for, is unrealistic expectations of what the dress can do. Even if you have the most amazing, perfect alterations. I had someone just the other day saying it looks absolutely fantastic. It looks perfect until I try to move, and then I get some wrinkles, and I don't want the wrinkles there. And I said, well, I can't help you with that because it's fabric. It's an unrealistic expectation to think that it's not going to crease somewhere to accommodate the fact that you are literally creasing it. So, and I run across probably at least 10 to 15 brides per year that I have to explain this to, because they think that they're going to get that totally flat look from what they see in the magazines, even if they move and bend their legs like as they're walking, because I have a mirror there. They can see how they're going to, look walking down the aisle. And they just don't understand why it won't stay totally flat. And that's because all of those pictures that they see in the magazines, even if the brides have their legs bent just a little bit, to kind of make the shape look even more figure hugging or whatever, those lines have been airbrushed out. They're looking at something that isn't real and expecting it to be real. And the tightness of these dresses, they could be super tight if they were a stretch. But when you have all this extra here, all of the lace work and detail and everything, that's not stretch. Even if the stretch layers, if there's stretch layers underneath, which this dress happens to have stretch layers underneath, the top, I believe it's 3 or 4 layers of this dress are not stretch. So the bottom one is going to accommodate to stretch if you make it tighter, but the top one is not going to be able to. And when it tries to stretch side to side, it's going to create creases across there as stretch lines, which the bride is not going to be happy about. So just some stuff to keep in mind when you're shopping for that dress and when you're thinking about what it's going to look like in the end. Those are some of the things to think about. Okay? Have a great day, and good luck with everything with the wedding.